Hi everyone, welcome to Smart Semester's Python programming playlist. In this video, we are going to learn about indentation in Python. Indentation refers to the spaces or tabs used at the beginning of a line of code. In Python, indentation is mandatory because it is used to define blocks of code. Unlike many other programming languages that use curly braces to group statements, Python uses indentation to show which statements belong together. This makes Python code more readable and organized. Proper and consistent indentation is a very important part of Python's syntax. Whenever we write conditions, loops, functions, classes, we must follow indentation rules. If indentation is missing or inconsistent, Python will immediately raise an error called indentation error. This strict indentation rule helps programmers write clean and well structured code, making programs easier to understand and maintain. Now, let's move to Python ideally and see how indentation works. This example shows the importance of indentation. First, let me explain what this program do and let's see how indentation is helping us to achieve this functionality. We are storing value of 10 in a variable called a number, and here we are using if else statement. When a condition we mention here is true, this if block will get executed, or else this else block will get executed. So since we are storing value 10, is 10 greater than 0? True. So this condition is true. So now these three statements will get executed. Since first line is a comment, it won't get executed. The other two print statements will get executed. Since the condition is true, we will not execute this else block. We will come out of the if else statement and this statement will get printed. This line is outside the if else block. Here you can see these three statements are equally spaced from the starting. It's usually 4 blank spaces. Let me count it. 1, 2, 3, 4. So every line is started with 4 blank spaces. Such blank spaces before any Python line is termed as indentation. If you want to group these 3 blocks as a single block, then these 3 lines should be equally indented. In a similar way, for else block, if you want to define a block, all the statements in that particular block should be equally indented. And one thing you have to remember, there is no indentation for the first line of any Python script. Since number equals to 10, this is our first line, there should be no indentation, meaning no white spaces before the first line of any Python script. Only if you want to define a block, then every statement in that block should be equally indented. Now let me keep this statement before a one space before, like this. No, let me first execute it and show you how this properly works or not. See, here you can see number is 10. Since 10 is greater than 0, we enter in this block and we are printing these two print statements, positive number, and this is also in the if block. Once the control leaves, the final statement outside the if else block is getting printed. Since these three lines belong to the else block, these three should be indented to the same level. Now let me move this second print statement to the different indentation level. Since these three statements belongs to the similar block, they should be at same level of indentation. But this third print statement is having different indentation. This is the inconsistent indentation within a block. Let me execute this. So here you can see the error. An indent does not match any outer indentation level, meaning it has no proper indentation. Let me bring back to the proper indentation level and execute this. This will properly get executed. In other programming languages, we will use curly braces to define a block, right? But in Python, like that. See, when I press closing curly brace, it defines this block. When you want to define a block, every statement in that block should belongs to the same indentation. It is recommended to have 4 spaces per indentation level according to the Python official documents. Let me control save and F5. Invalid syntax, since these curly braces are not part of Python programming syntax. Now let me execute. This will get properly executed. In this way, indentation helps to write cleaner and understandable codes in Python. In the next video, we will discuss about functions in Python. Thank you.